Saturday to you guys. You're watching and listening to That's What's Up with your Costa on 108 Praise Radio. I am here to voice the gospel. What voice? The gospel. Always voice the gospel on this Saturday morning. I am excited. I'm filled with just a tinge of joy. I'm hoping that more comes. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I in this funk? So let's talk about my That's What's Up. That's what's up in politics. This week, we have a lot going on. If you're definitely out there, remember to go vote. It's by July 24th. And you guys don't want to forget, because if you are a Republican, you have this runoff here in Georgia. For those of you that are elsewhere, of course, you know, it's a little different. I don't know. You may have runoffs there too right now. But here in Georgia, make sure you go. Remember to cast your vote. Also, that's my main. That's what's up in politics. That's what's up in reality. Not much of anything. Big Brother is going on. It's in its 20th season. Great cast. Just so much fun. I was kind of sad I didn't get to go a few weeks ago to LA. But hello to all of Big Brother alumni. You guys looked amazing. You looked great. Also, my That's What's Up in, maybe I need to start doing a That's What's Up in life, because woo, like right now it's so heavy. I don't know if anybody ever gets in that just deep funk, you know, where you're just feeling heavy. So I think I'm gonna hold on to that and then have that kind of one-on-one conversation with my great guest over here to my left. Okay. Now, my That's What's Up with Jesus. That's what's up with Jesus. That's what's up with Jesus, because he's so great. I am happy and ecstatic that to say on Saturday evening it all started, where God was just convicting me of my mess. See, I am that person that I like to admit my wrongs, and it's okay, because when you're wrong, you're just wrong. And sometimes people they think they're right the whole time, or they'll find a verse in the Bible that they think applies to their right, which is their wrong. And I don't do that. Like, I feel like I've been a lot of wrong for about 4 years, guys. Ever since I came from Big Brother, I was like, I don't know this woman. Like, this woman has accepted a lot. This woman has done a lot. This woman is a mess. And I just said, you know what? I can't do this alone, God. And I said that to him on Saturday night. And things just started changing up. So by Sunday morning, like Saturday night, I'm like being convicted. I'm speaking in tongues. There's a lot going on where he's just like, like jujitsu on me, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Sunday morning, I get up and I'm still like, feeling like so heavy, like in my mess. Because sometimes your mess, it has to like literally slap you in the face for you to say, you know what, I'm a child of God. Who are you? Because whoever you are, heifer, you gotta go. And I'm riding to church, and then I'm telling my boys, like, mommy just feels like she is feeling so heavy. And I know that we've all sinned and come short of the glory of God. I get it, you know. But I'm sitting here like, okay, enough is enough. And I'm telling my boys, you know what? Mommy's not been the best. And yeah, you know, you've been the best mommy. Mommy's not been the best to God. And I had to get them to get it and understand it, because I always have that conversation with them. I'm a very transparent person. And I was like, mommy has just sinned and falls short of the glory of God. And I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I just want to live the best life God has for me. I want to do what God wants me to do. I want to be guided by him. I want to be led by him. And I feel like he can use this vessel because he told you in the Bible, he lets us know that he'll use a dirty bird. So look, I'm that dirty bird, okay? But I'm like, God, cleanse this house, because this house right here is a hot mess. This temple is not what it used to be. And my youngest son, he starts crying, and they ask me to give them my hand. I give them my hand. They hold my hand, and both of my boys are praying for me. And I was like, ain't God good? You know, you want to take a beat and say, that's amazing. I get in church and I'm a hot mess. I'm texting my friend. I'm like, Chad, where are you at? Come to the front. Like, come on. And like, Chad, the phone rarely works in church. Of course, did it work Sunday? No. So I'm here crying and snotting and it's a lot going on. And then they sing the song Hope. And it says, you know, you're not your yesterday and you're washed in the blood. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm washed in the blood? And then I don't have anything to wipe this snot, to wipe these tears, to nothing, you know. And I'm like, well, God's like, well, you was in that sin, you wasn't trying to wipe stuff out, so take it. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there, and then somebody taps me on my shoulder, and it's a woman. And she says, now you all know, I love my Caucasian people, but most of the time in church it's dark. And it's just light on the stage. So I'm like, how did this woman even see me? She says, I think you need this napkin. She gives me the napkin. And then she puts her arms out and she just hugs me. And I was like, I ain't need Chad. God sent me this woman. I don't know who she was, but he sent her with this napkin that I needed Chad to get me. You know, that hug that I needed Chad to get me. But you know how many of us know that God will send you what you need, okay? And who is for you. And we leave church and I get to my auntie Charlene's house, and then it didn't stop there. Like, she's praying for me, and then my phone rings and my auntie is like, hey niece, you okay? And I feel like something's wrong. I'm like, what? And so I'm like, Aunt Carol, and Auntie Charlene was just praying with me, and now you called me. And it's just a big whirlwind of Jesus just pouring down on this sinful me, on this hot mess Jocasta. And he's just shaking me and waking me up and saying, stay woke. That's what he's saying, you know. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then my phone dies from talking to Aunt Carol. And then my Auntie Charlene had took some oil and put it on me. And then her doorbell rings and she's like, who is at the door? So here it is. She makes her way to the door, and it's this woman. And the woman walks in and she said, you can go back there with my niece. And it's her and her husband. And she says, hi. And my aunt says, don't you know Jocasta? And the woman tells me, yeah, I know her. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know her. And she says, yes, she knows me. And I'm like, really? From where? Where do you know me from? And she says, you and Teresa go to church together. Who is Teresa? I don't know Teresa, guys. I'm like, who is Teresa? Well, I know Teresa knows who Teresa is, but I didn't know at the time. And she said, you and Teresa were ordained together by Driver. I said, oh, I don't know Teresa. You're correct. I said, wow, okay. And then she was looking at me strange. And I was just like, okay. So she asked me what was the word today at church. And then I informed her, I no longer go there, but absolutely great church. And I told her what the word was. I told her what we talked about. She told me what the sermon was at her church. And she said, my husband preached today. And I said, really? Okay. Now, I hadn't seen her husband because he walked in the other room and she walked back where we were. And she said, well, I'm Glory. So I'm sitting there, okay, Jesus, all right. So I'm like, okay. So she tells me about church, and I said, I just talked to my auntie. My auntie told me about what happened at her church, and it's all connected. I said, this is amazing. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave. My kids are hungry, time to eat, blah, blah, blah. She said, well, no, don't leave on account of me. No, you heard my children. They said they're hungry. I'm going to go feed my kids. So she's like, well, can I pray for you before I leave? Now, you guys know for a fact that sometimes I'm like skeptical. I don't know, everybody praying for me and everybody touching on me, okay? That's probably how I got in this situation that I was in, okay? But no, I got myself in it. So literally, I'm like, okay, let's pray. She grabs my hand. She grabs my aunt's hand. Deacon Connor Odom is over in the corner. and he raises his hand just to reverence God. And I don't know what happened. So much. I thought after I got off the phone with my aunt who called and said, niece, are you okay? I feel like something's wrong. I felt good. But when we start praying, oh my gosh, glory had the glory. Because I feel like Jesus jumped in Glory's body and slapped Jocasta, pop, 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 and then said, okay, girl, now you back. Thank you so much. I love you, baby. And it was amazing. But then it didn't stop there. Prayer's over. I'm like, God is good. He's amazing. And then Auntie turns and says, you know this oil that I put on you? Well, Glory gave me this oil. And so I'm standing there. I said, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense that he sent what I needed. That he didn't leave me and I left him. Does that make sense? But he was there the whole way. And that's what he was trying to show me. And he was trying to show me that, look here, girl, if you stay and you try to be a tinge of this world, you're not going to make it. But if you be all of me, you're going to go far. And I am amazed because here it is. I told him I can't do it alone. What does this joker do in less than 24 hours? I said, God, I can't do it alone. You know, I need some accountability partners. I just need some people, you know, and he did just that. He removed whatever. The second time when she told me that oil was, I started laughing hysterically because that's when you know God, he loves the heck out of you, that he has your back, your front. He got you side to side. He has you. That's when you realize you are his. Now you've known it, but sometimes something clouds your vision and clogs your ears. And we just need people that are like-minded people to line up with us and give in to what God, thus says the Lord. And the last time Glory came over, she hugged me, and there was so much that came out of me. I felt so good. Now, the next day, was my mind going? Yes, it was. But you got to know that God does not give you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And you keep saying that because he's going to continue to mess with. Like, here's the thing. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He's going to continue to mess with your mind. He's going to continue to try to mess with your heart. And there's so much in this world, so much temptation that it will cloud the heck out of you, and you will have this film thinking you got glaucoma, and really you do not. Okay? So happy soul saving Saturday to all of you. He saved my soul a time or two. He's amazing. He's fulfilling, and he is brand new to me every time I open my eyes every morning. I told God, I want to be here with my kids. I want to see my kids get married. I want to see myself get old. I want to see it all, but I want to see it with you and through you. So if anybody wants to hang with me, anybody wants to change the world with me, anybody wants to be real with me, you can come find me standing behind Jesus. Catch that. Happy Saturday again. I am sitting at you like that, Daniel. I'm standing by him. If you gotta go through him to even see where I'm at, and that's real talk. You know, I was like that 5 years ago, and I don't know. Like I went in that Big Brother house. I feel like I still been in there, but literally we're gonna go there, guys. This morning I am so happy to have Uncle Daddy. It was hilarious last week. AG was like, so Uncle Daddy, which is Terrence Smith on, because I'm telling you, you all always be asking me just about talking to men, wanting to hear what men have to say, wanting to know what is inside the male, what's his perspective. And I gotta just really broaden this panel of men. I met some pretty cool men last Saturday at John's male panel. And so it just helps me to find more people to come and give you guys the real talk you're looking for. Happy Saturday, Terrence. How are you?
I am well.
I'm okay. That's the only time I'm probably gonna call him Terrence. I'll probably call him it one more time for you guys, okay? Because it's kind of awkward. Terrence said he was sleepy because he had to take his child this morning. Well, he's a grown man, but he's still his child. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Took him to 2-week drill, Fort Gordon, Augusta. Yeah.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's
from my house, anyway.
See, that's a long time. Mario was here. I had to meet him like halfway somewhere. I was like, brother, I'll meet you halfway at the restaurant, okay, brother? But so how's your Saturday going? Tired, sleepy?
Tired, sleepy, but hey, I'm here.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Because he love his niece. He love his niece. Hey, he love his niece. Hey, he love his niece. And you know something about him? He'll tell you when you're wrong, when you're right, when he don't agree with you, when he agree with you. These are the people that you have to have in your life. And I don't need anybody to tell me I was wrong. Like, I know I was wrong for my hot mess. So that's when you know that God really will convict you too. But you need positive people in your life to say, hey, sister,
yes,
you're wrong. Brother, you're wrong. And I think, like, last week, the kid from who called in, that's kind of what he needed to have to understand. Because at first I was like, we ain't starting no revolution or nothing like that. But one thing I wanted to discuss is, like, on my way here, I was listening to several different things on the radio. And all this year I've been talking about love a lot. And then when I listened to, whose song? Jonathan wrote it, but I can't remember who was singing it. But she was saying, I don't need luck because I got love, right? And I was like, wow, okay, deep. Then I flipped to the next station, and Music Soul Child was saying, love. Sometimes we use its name in vain. So it's like, okay, yes, I started saying to myself, like, that word, people just look at it as a word. And it's an action that God wants us to embrace. Courtney's telling us about the HIV level in Metro Atlanta that is way over it. And for male to male contact, it's huge. And then female contact is huge. And the whole thing is, we got to know how to love. We don't know how to love anymore. I feel like, back in the day, like some people bring up, well, my daddy had 2 houses, and, I think back in the day, it was kind of easy to take on a couple homes. There weren't so many of these man-made diseases. Y'all catch that. But that's the truth. That's the truth. I don't know. A lot of people, y'all try to act like you don't know, but that is the truth, okay? That's facts. But love, people don't get it. Because love doesn't hurt. Because if it hurt, why would God say, love him? That like hurt him. No, it doesn't hurt. Now, you can love someone and they pass away. And you find that, but that love that you had for them wasn't painful. They're just gone and you grieving. And I think when Music Love Child was saying, sometimes we take your name in vain, love. And I look at it as, okay, it says love through all the ups and downs, what is it? hurts and something. Love. And a lot of times we just don't love. I don't think we do. I think we like.
We definitely like.
But we don't love.
We don't love. We, in most instances, we like, and we like a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And because we're told that we should love, so we substitute like for love, mm-hmm. and we just say, I love you. Mm-hmm. And, of course, given the male perspective, a strange phenomenon took
I'm glad
place.
you were going to give that respect. I
don't know when it took place, mm-hmm. but one of the hardest thing it used to be was to get a man to tell you, I love you. Mm-hmm. Okay? And really and truly, it's just not, it really wasn't a hard thing to do. It was just the man never said it unless he meant it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people now, they just say it because that's what the other person wants to hear.
That's right.
So we will say, I love you, I love you, I love you, mm-hmm. and don't mean it no more than you love that tuna fish sandwich. Mm-hmm. So with that taking on a new role, love, it's just out of whack. And to look at it, no one, I can't say no one, most people do not love that other person the way you should love someone. Mm-hmm. If you're saying, I love you, mm-hmm. It just, no, you don't. You have a deep like for the person. Mm-hmm. You favor the person, but you definitely don't love. And I take a little exception to the love thing because, as I tell people, those that were married and not married anymore, you love that boo. Ooh, that's my boo, that's my baby, that's my baby. Now, today, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Where's that love? If you love that person, I don't care what happened. You love that person. Mm-hmm. You can't say, okay, I don't love him anymore. Mm-hmm. Maybe my degree of love, but really and truly, there's no degree. Love is what love is. And of course, we like to give degrees of love, and we like to say unconditional. That's a hard thing.
But let me tell you about unconditional love. Like, mm-hmm. Okay, so me, Sunday, when I tell you it was So I realized God loves me unconditionally, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I ain't realized it Sunday, but I've known that, Right. I'm saying, but I came up with other thoughts. So not only does God love me unconditionally, the love that a mama has, now you gonna listen to this, the love that a mama has for her children,
yes,
is unconditional love.
Yes,
just like God loves his church, I mean his people, right? So literally, that love is like that. You can be sitting in a courtroom. He killed 10 people. He set a fire to the hospital, injuring 30. And we have given him life plus 20 plus life plus blah, blah, blah. And that mama, my baby didn't mean to do it. Right. And you like, he killed. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
And that's the difference between the mother and the father, because he could drink the last of the Kool-Aid and Daddy finished with him.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, I'm done.
He said the Kool-Aid. You drink that last red Kool-Aid. I don't even. What is the red Kool-Aid, y'all? Cherry or tropical punch? I'm just playing. But
okay. But yes, mothers do have that unconditional love. And
they do.
And it would be a great thing for a father to have that, but I'm not going to tell you a father has that. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, there are things that even my children, who I love very dear, there's a few things that you can do that Daddy's just going to walk away from you and let you do you.
You ain't going to walk away, are you?
The mama love him.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've realized that the only way you're gonna get that unconditional love is like that, and is that mama. Excuse me, that mama doesn't even matter, and she don't care what you've done. Now she'll tell you she do now,
right?
But she does not. I mean, let me say, she cares what you've done.
Correct.
But she gonna love you through it anyway. And we gotta understand just how we don't want to hurt and harm our mama. That's the same reverence, same fear we gotta give to God.
Yes.
But love is powerful.
Love is powerful. I won't go against Scripture and say love can do a whole bunch of things, because Scripture says it will. But I don't know.
That's how you feel? I mean, no, let's say, what say you? If you feel like love can't, then that's a great that's an amazing conversation within itself.
If you have fear and love, in today's society, let me put it that way, in today's society, looking at things the way things are, would you want a person to love you or fear you? Most people will just jump on that bandwagon and say love. I always say fear. Fear is everlasting. Love is fleeting. Because that same dog that you ran from as a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, I can bring that dog in here today, you're going to run again. Because you fear that dog.
Whoa!
That same person that
deep.
You laid with and said, boo, I love you to death, nothing will separate us. You know, me and you will never
part my teeth out.
Yeah, and you don't.
Because you can leave them.
Unless you have that.
Wait, you know what? Now, this is not... So, that's real truth. There's truth in that. Let me tell people why. Because I know somebody gonna have something different to say. There's truth in that because you said you can love somebody, you could be married to them. You were saying that, and you could say you're loving them and you're in love with them. But if somebody is in a domestic situation and they're fearful of that person, they're not going nowhere.
Nope.
They're not going nowhere.
They tend to.
So if you and it's not love,
that's fear.
It's out of fear. So I said it's some truth. It's some truth to that. It's some truth.
It runs to the core. And again, I will tell you that love should run that deep and that true. But it's the right kind of love. And if you don't have that kind of love for that other person, and I say that other person because the mother has that love for the child because she's the giver of life. And how can you? Well, there are some that don't care for their kids that deep.
Yeah, you're right.
But how can you, being a human, not care that deeply for another human, especially one that you gave birth to? So I understand that. Now, you know, men, we just were there for a moment and supplied the other half of that thing, and we didn't carry it and that kind of thing. We walked the other way, and you went that way.
So why do you feel like men are so, like men, and that's another thing, because here it is, you would not have left your children. You wouldn't have left Auntie to fend for herself and care for her kids. You would not be an instrumental part in your boy's life because you've been that way. So that's like me asking somebody who wouldn't even do that. But why, if a man loves his kids, why wouldn't he want to be with them? Why wouldn't he want to care for them? Why would he not want to stick around and not just go put a kid over here, over there, over there, over there, over there, and there's so many children?
Well, that's something wrong with the individual. That's wrong with the individual. He was just there for the good time's sake, and he had his good time, and there was some residual, and he said he wasn't there for that part. That's on, as he would say, that's on her.
Oh, wow.
I did my thing, and I'm gone, and I keep it moving, and he you've seen them. They brag, oh, I got kids over here, I got kids over there, I got these many kids and this kind of thing, but you're not doing anything for those kids.
That's what I don't get, because I'm like, why is it so popular? And it's still popular. It is still popular where people just produce so many kids and not take care of them, not even care for them. But then you have those two that produce so many kids and they just don't do anything with them. They'll pay you, they're going to send you their money, but I'm not going to do anything else. I don't have time for that. Like, I am not going to hang out with this kid. Like, take care of them. You do all of that. Oh, they playing basketball? Oh, okay, fine. They got a game? Oh, well, I can't make it.
In my
that's not love.
Opinion, there's a disconnect. There's a humanity disconnect with that person.
I like that, because there's no love.
Yes,
at all.
There's no love.
Maybe they were never loved.
And I was gonna say, it's a generational thing, and it happens in other communities, but since we're of this community, we'll just talk about this one.
Okay.
Because this is what we know. It happens very often in black communities, and it's a generational thing. And unfortunate, because of from whence we came and how we came, we, in my opinion, we are a lost people. If you don't know your past, I'm not saying live in your past. Good God, the past is the past, and let it go.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
even
you can do to
yesterday.
change it.
Even
There you go.
yesterday.
Just let it go. There's nothing you can do to change it. But acknowledge it, learn from it, and keep it moving.
That's what I just did on last week.
And but we as a people don't have that past to, in some cases, acknowledge, because we don't really know from where we came. You know, well, people say, well, you're from Africa. Actually, no. Just because I have a deep melanin to my complexion, that does not mean I'm from Africa. If you say, well, as I had a discussion with a guy, well, the first person on Earth, or whatever as science says, was a lady from Africa, and so everyone evolved from that trait. Okay, everybody had to come from somewhere. In that sense, then, okay, fine. But in the true sense, when you do your DNA, and as I tell a lot of folks, go ahead and spend the $199. Spend the $199. Don't do the $41. I know it's cheap. Don't do the. I think MyHeritage is cheap. Go ahead and do the 123 or the Ancestry DNA to find out, and it'll give the percentage. But now I do have reservations with that. I just want to send you a swab, and you tell me.
Yeah.
I don't want to send you any information about me, because all you gotta do is just go with the norm. So here's a black guy. Well, we'll make you from northern, or we'll make you from southern Africa, and da 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 da. And you go, wow, look at this is where I'm from.
So have you done that?
No, I did. I did a cheap one.
That's why he knows. See, you gotta learn from what you do. Learn from what you do.
But it gave the actually it said Northern Africa. I forget what the percentage was. Northern Africa, and actually it is the Caribbean, which a lot of people, believe it or not, my black people, a lot of us are right from the Caribbean, or Caribbean, whichever way you want to say, because in actuality the slave trade there was much deeper than what we have in the U.S. Although, of course, we only talk about this because that's where we live.
That's where you
are. But it was there long before here, and there was generation that went on from there to here. So just depend upon how far back do you really want to go. And my thing, you can say, I don't know how far back we go, because we're going past the 50s and way whenever. Okay, how far back do you want to go? Because anything generational is right here from good old U.S. of A. You ain't from here. You ain't from there. You're from right here. Right here. You're nothing but an American. Well, we're really not American because there's the Americas. You're United States. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's where you're from. That's where your traits are. And that's who you are. But we don't have that as a people. We're looking for something greater to define us. Mm-hmm. If before your time, but within mine, in the 50s and 60s, more so towards 50s and 60s. I'm gonna say the 70s. The 70s, black people were proud. They were trying to find where they were from, and they were attaching themselves to culture. African culture. Mm-hmm. And there was a big push, Swahili. And they were in this country teaching Swahili. Some jokers would know more from wherever they speak Swahili than I am right now.
Yeah.
But they were and we still try to attach to something to say this is us.
And I don't know. It's so much. I think I was having a conversation this morning, a quick conversation with you on how it's like you can't do nothing right in the world. You can't eat right. You try to live right. It's just every time you turn around, it's something. And then I said, maybe it was always like that. I said that to my mom yesterday. And because I was young, I didn't understand or I didn't know. Maybe these things always were out there. And because I'm now older and I'm actually realizing and recognizing what's going on in life, I notice them now. I don't know. But one thing I do know is I'm going to make it my mission to be the minister of this microphone and of whoever puts a mic in my hand, wherever I am. I'm going to try my best to go forth and bring God's word and show love to all people. And let me explain that to you about just showing love to all people and knowing where you come from. It is important. It's definitely important. But knowing that you need to love all is extremely important. And let me give you an example. The other day, my son and I, at the dentist, I was there. He wanted to come with me, which he always wants to go somewhere with me. That's our favorite boy. Dylan. Love you too, Connor. So here it is. Dylan and I are at the dentist. And we're sitting on the little 2-seater couch together because it's what? 2 of us. A lady comes up and she says, she taps Dylan. I'm like, wait a minute. Because that's Mama Bear. Like, Mama Bear don't care. Mama Bear will go to jail for her child and not even realize she shouldn't have went, But Mama Bear turned and I'm like, she said, can I sit with you and your child, And so I looked at her and I said, oh, okay. Let me get Dylan. I put Dylan in my lap. I said, have a seat. Now, I looked around and there was nowhere for her to sit. She probably would have had to go all the way to the other end. It's a huge office. But then I said to myself, who's her caretaker? That's what I'm thinking about in my head. Because that's something I think about, like when I'm telling God, I don't want to leave this world. Let me see my kids grow old. So that's why I'm like, I got to get myself together. I got to get my life together. Because I don't, Because I don't know who their caretaker could be. Like this woman standing there trying to find a seat. And she has a disability. And I recognize it immediately. And then she tries to talk to Dylan when she sits down. And then she said, he 4. And I said, no, he's 6. You know? Like thinking, almost 7. He a big boy. So she's like, he look like him be 4 years old. And I said, no. You know? And so I'm looking around like, where is her caretaker? Who just left her to fend for herself, to figure it out on her own. And she said something else to me, and then I looked at her, and I always keep wipes because I have children, so I keep wipes in my book bag. I keep my book bag with me because I got kids. And I look at the lady, and she needs her face washed, and I'm going to try to not cry. Because I was telling my mama yesterday, and I started crying. I don't know. I just been crying a lot. I think I'm going through change. So hormonal. But, so this woman needed her face cleaned. She should have had on clean clothes. Nobody wiped her glasses. Her glasses were smudged. And somebody found that to be okay. And I know she didn't know me, so I know she probably wouldn't have been comfortable with me cleaning her up, but I wanted to. And so I'm like, no, you know what? I just want a God. I just want to be here to serve your people. I won't put my children before you even. I want to serve for you. And I felt like I needed to grab her and give my wife something and clean her, but I knew that wouldn't have been inappropriate. And I was so angry because nobody saw fit for her to come out the house clean, but you look clean. And then when they called her name, the woman came and she just knew they called her name, so she walked. She got up. She said, okay. And I tried to turn my head because I knew I was angry by that time. Like, who did this? And I'm looking at the woman who's caring for her. And I mean, she looked fine to me, you know? Why you couldn't wash her face? Why couldn't you put her on some pretty okay clothes, you know? You didn't think she wanted to come out of the house and look like you? Where's the fair in that? Where's the love in that? If you're going to take care of somebody, if you're going to care for somebody, do it as if it's yourself. Or matter of fact, forget that. Do it as if it's Jesus himself. So I want to be here. I want to serve God like no other. And if I got to, I felt like, yeah, I would have scared her if I'd have said, can I clean your face? Can I clean you up a little bit? Because she probably wouldn't understand completely, you know. But goodness, people, we gotta love people the way we love God, so that we'll be able to serve. Because people always standing on earth, I don't know my purpose. Well, you know what? He put us here to serve.
There you go.
You know, and I got tired of serving people who don't want to be served. I want to serve and be a servant, and I want him to say, well done, my good and faithful. What is that in? Servant.
Yes.
So you don't know what capacity you may be serving in. You don't know.
But the key part of that is to serve. And as I tell folks quite often, you have one purpose here. It is not for you. Your purpose here is to serve others. Now, as a byproduct, you get stuff out of it. That's cool, too. Mm-hmm. But your purpose is to serve others. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, the majority of people get that wrong because they're here for themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's not, as I tell folks all the time, it's not about you. Mm-hmm. And as going back to the kids, once you decided to have a kid, it's not about you. Mm-mm. No longer is it about you. It's about that person. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, maybe years down the line, you'll get a reprieve from that, but as I've been told, they're like a boomerang. They just come right back.
Oh, man.
But my wife, Loretta, and I were just having a conversation on the way back. She was making sure I stayed awake on on my drive here. And the drive here, we were talking about mental health. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about the closing of mental health facilities because of, for the most part, political correctness. We don't want to put that person away, and we want to mainstream people. And I get that. I get that part. But unfortunately, we see the jails are full of people that have mental health issues more than they have criminal issues.
That's true.
The streets are full of people that have mental health issues more than they have financial issues. But something had to be done with these people. Mm-hmm. You know, Central State, Milledgeville, was the big one here in Georgia. Oh, several hundred folks were there, and they shut it down.
They did? I did not know
yes, that. Ooh, long ago.
That was a long time ago.
And to the four winds, those people went. Just, boop, you got to go. And so what you have in that mental health arena, take that young lady, don't know her story whatsoever, but caretaker, you're right. Maybe I'm selling her short, and maybe she's high level, mm-hmm. but maybe I'm telling that story, or I'm looking at that from the right perspective, and she did have a caretaker, and that caretaker did exactly what you said. They didn't care. They didn't care about this other person, who actually they are getting paid to mm-hmm. care for. Mm-hmm. They didn't care about the other person. They just said, hey, get in the van, or get in the car. I'm taking you to your appointment. Mm-hmm. They dropped her out, put her out like an Uber.
Find her a seat, because that woman got up out of her seat mm-hmm. when she got up to walk back there with her. You had a seat. Mm-hmm. You know that her mental capacity probably doesn't go past 12 or 13.
And to some degree, though, we still have to fashion that into content. And so I have to do the balancing act on that, because sometimes you have to, just like your kids, you have to let them do things to become independent. Mm-hmm. And if we're forever shadowing them, they will never become independent. Now, again, I don't know,
because we don't know the story,
that lady's story mm-hmm. as to how she was and that kind of thing, and so on and so forth. But sometimes in that environment, you know this person better than everyone in this environment knows that person. And so is that person going to be a bother to someone else? And they should have had a watchful eye. It's okay for your kids to be independent, but you keep a watchful eye mm-hmm. on that kid. You just don't let them go run. Okay, go get a drink. And this is the first time they get a drink out of the machine at McDonald's, and they just mm-hmm. push the button and Coke flies everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you should keep that watchful eye. But with that person, no, they just brought her, sat down, made themselves comfortable, and hey, I'm just here. I don't want to be associated. I'm just trying to get a check. Don't bother me. And it happens. Unfortunately, it happens. And the person could have came upon a person not as nice as you, and looked
That's
at them.
my thing, because she was like, "Can I sit?" You know, and I'm looking like, "Did you touch my kid?" You know,
yes.
Somebody else wouldn't have been able to just say, "Did you touch my kid?" It'd have been like, "Boop boop 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 boop," you know. And I think, yeah, you.
And speaking on touching kids and just touching all in itself, just really quick, the incident that's on the news, that the four ladies at the Applebee's in McDonough. You didn't see it.
What happened at McDonough?
There's four ladies at an Applebee's, for African Americans at an Applebee's. I would take it sisters. They all had the same last name, Boyd, since they're all on the wanted thing now, Boyd. Mm-hmm. They're at Applebee's. The server is giving them their food, and the server hits the lady's leg with her leg like twice. She's passing the stuff over. Hits
by accident.
Yes, by accident. and took offense, grabbed this steak knife, stabbed the woman in the arm.
Stabbed the server?
Yes, and the fight is on. They're tearing up the table, knocking stuff over.
They're all fighting the one woman?
Not only did they beat her down, they took the money out of
Wait
her
a minute, they
apron,
robbed her too? I'm gone.
and then they walk out like nothing. Do, 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 do.
They stabbed her,
Mm-hmm.
beat her up.
Mm-hmm.
Is this allegedly?
No.
Oh, okay. Took
Well,
her.
it is because
allegedly
it adjudicated.
They
yes.
allegedly stabbed her,
Yes.
beat her up, then robbed her.
Yes.
So now you how many? We got a lot of counts of everything right now.
Ag assault.
Armed
robbery.
4 women.
4. Yeah.
And it's armed robbery because you used a steak knife.
Yes.
That was from Applebee's. Now, I don't know how your lawyer going to get you out of this one.
On tape.
And I don't know how your lawyer will get you out of this one. But let me tell you one thing. In an Applebee's, if the server is trying to hand you food at any restaurant and accidentally taps you, you know, and I'm sure she might have said it's he, but did they know the woman? And see, that's another thing too. Because did they come in there wanting her anyway? Because we know I had a little incident at Applebee's in Griffin. Somebody grabbed a knife. I didn't know that was them. Then when I figured it out that was them, you know, it kind of went down. But and the police came. But literally,
But touching.
yeah. And then, because see, to me, it may be more to the story. Maybe, yeah, she went in there.
Well,
Because they went in there.
They were mad, supposedly they were mad because the food took long.
So you gonna stab somebody? She ain't even back there cooking the food.
Nope.
We're gonna stab this woman and she's not even cooking the food?
Nope.
I cannot. Guys, we gotta pay attention. This is where I'm talking about love comes into play. Joanne was saying her husband came from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Whoop, whoop. But guys, we gotta love. I'm telling you right now, I love God enough to not pimp out Jocasta, right? He loves you enough to not pimp you out, but other people will. Y'all take that however you want to take it. He won't abuse you nor misuse you. He'll love you and provide for you in the way that he's done. That's why I love B.B. Winans' song. God promised me. He promised me he would deliver me. He promised me he would protect me. He promised me he was my provider. And he promised me he was my healer. And I lean on those promises every day, all day. Watch people's patterns because they can show you better than they can tell you. I tell people that all the time. You telling me you don't see what I'm doing? I can show you better than I can tell you. No need for me to type it up. No need for me to write it up. That's why I have this mic. This is your minister of the mic. Guys, I've enjoyed having this conversation with my uncle. I hope you guys have enjoyed Terrence Smith. Tune in next week to That's What's Up with Jocasta. Thank you so much, Uncle, for coming.
That's because I love you.
Ah! Boom. And we out. I'm just playing. But love. Been listening to That's What's Up with Jocasta on 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. I love you.